I volunteer. I'll go get on the ship. You out your rabbit ass mind. Hello, Governor. This is Rekkai Steve, the nupefromdaville, who always keeps it real. Thank you for checking out the side quest. Now, today I'm talking about a movie called Arrival. It was done in 2016 by Denis Villeneuve. Ooh, I got that right. I never get that right. I got that right. Now, if you have no idea who that dude is, like, who is this French dude? He's talking about croissants and baguettes and beignets. No, he is the wonderful director that we have seen of one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever. Not Dune, the first one, but Dune 2. So the ones that are in the theaters right now, Dune 2 is a landmark. It is a absolutely fantastic film. Now, of course, this might not be your thing, but it's definitely my thing. And being that it's my thing is one of the greatest movies ever. But what you'll find out about Mr. Villeneuve is that he has a long catalog, and he's got some greats in there, including another one that I absolutely love, Sicario. So if you ever saw the first Sicario movie, that's his movie too. It's fantastic. Now in Arrival, it is science fiction, but it does not go the way that you think it's going to go. So aliens invade the Earth. There are 12 alien ships that arrive at different points around the planet, and they pull up, they park, and that's it. They allow the humans in each one of those areas to start coming onto their ship and trying to communicate with them, which is crazy. I mean, I can't imagine being the first one, but like, hey, I volunteer. I'll go get on the ship. You out your rabbit ass mind. Anyway, they start having all these problems because really nothing that they're doing is getting through. So they find this woman, this doctor, played by Amy Adams, and she's a linguist. She speaks, writes, reads, understands many languages. And it just so happens that Forrest Whitaker, who is the colonel for the military, who's in charge of the particular one the particular site that's close to where she's at in Montana, he had worked with her before, and she's highly recommended because she really understands the languages, and she's very fast. She works very fast. Now, the thing is, these aliens, we're calling them heptapods. The heptapods are trying to communicate. She breaks through and they're communicating. But, if we write sentences in a linear form, in a straight line, their sentences, their words are all circular. And it's weird. And then there's a scene that's fantastic where she breaks down a sentence, which is the sentence that we want to ask them. Basically, all this shit that we doing, all 12 sites, regardless of what country got them, they want to ask them one thing. What is your purpose here on Earth? Why are you here? You have flown across the galaxy from God knows where. Why? What you want? Why you pull up on us? But she breaks down all the things in that sentence about why we need to pay attention and why we need to make sure they understand each part of the sentence first before we can even ask the question. Anyway, getting back to the movie. So the arrival of these aliens, they call them heptapods. We finally find out that they said that they're bringing us a weapon. They said that they're going to use the weapon. And we have a hard time saying, they're saying they're going to use the weapon? Who's going to use the weapon? Who got a weapon? Y'all got a weapon? What's up? And of course, the military, God bless them. The military all over the world, they're like, listen, scramble the jets. You know what I'm saying? Load up the bombs. Which to me is always the most hilarious thing. Like, if you have these crafts that are damn near the size of a city, and they have flown across the galaxy, they have flown across the universe, they pulled up on us, and at some point we think, you know what? You know what we can do? We'll kill them. We'll throw these little bitty pieces of lead. We call them bullets. We gonna throw as many of those at them that we got. These people are flown across the galaxy, but we bet we can shoot them with bullets. Or we'll drop a bomb on them. Meanwhile, they have technology that is so beyond our understanding. How is that a good idea? Anyway, Amy Adams' character figures out that to them, weapon and tool, because of course they're dealing in the English language, and the English language is the worst language of all the languages. It's a gutter language. It's a trash language because it's an amalgamation. It is a confluence and hodgepodge of so many other languages. We've taken things from so many languages. So that's why we have so many words that spell the same but have different meanings, or look the same, sound the same. It's the most confusing language to learn. We later come to find out that the gift, the weapon, is their language. As we're doing all these things to figure out their language so that we can effectively communicate with them, that is the weapon, language. Because we are taught in the movie that one of the most valuable things that we have in order to learn as a civilization, as a people, is language. We learn through language because language shapes your thinking. Language shapes your reality. And it's also very important, the culture from which that language comes, because a lot of the meanings in the language are reflective of the culture that they come from. And nothing is more apparent than that right now. The link to this movie, the review that Syntell and I did in this movie, is in the description. But another great series that we've been watching is the series called Shogun. Shogun's about feudal Japan, the Edo period. And being a person from the Western Hemisphere, sometimes it's hard to understand the culture and the mannerisms of people that are so different from yourself. And unfortunately, in the Western world, we have this fear of everything that we don't like and we don't know, and it's different. And our knee-jerk reaction is to stamp it out. So back to the movie. If you knew the day and hour of your death, what would you change? Put in the comments. What would you change? I've been a man who's tried to live my life without regrets. I try to only speak when I have something to say, and what I have to say should be based in the truth, and it's meaningful. Unfortunately, when you deal with people, that is not always their truth. That's not always the angle that they're coming from. And you have to navigate not only yourself, but navigate other people. Do I have some things I would change in my life? I would like to say yes. There's several things that I would want to change. I'm divorced with 4 kids between me and my ex-wife. I never saw myself being divorced and a single father, because my 3 oldest are teenagers and my youngest is 7 right now. You couldn't have bet me all the money in the world and told me I would be here today. I mean, I know it's always an impossibility. You know, people change and circumstances change. And would I take all of that back? I don't know. Because part of the change and, you know, what led me to being here has also led me to now several years of therapy and getting myself, my life, my mind right. And here's the one future that I know I wouldn't change. Changing so many things about that. And whether, you know, you go back and you think, okay, well, I'll change out the person. Maybe I should have had a different wife. You could think that, but the one thing I wouldn't want to change, though, I don't think I would change that. Because when it was good with us, it was good. It's just when it got bad, it snowballed into bad. And that would change my kids. And I cannot imagine that for anything in the world. Those 4 people are the most important thing to me in the world. I wouldn't change them for anything. But what would you change? Would it be small? Would it be huge? See, the heptapod's language is circular. And that means that they had this like ink that they gave out, their little, slimy squid tentacles, knuckles things. It's a really unsettling look. But they could write an entire complex sentence in like 2 seconds. And the reason was they viewed time differently. The way that things worked in their language, they wrote the entire sentence in 2 seconds because it was circular, because they wrote the beginning and the end of the sentence at the same time. And that's how they saw time. Time was not linear. Time was circular, which many people say is the key to time travel. That time is circular, not linear. And that's an extremely hard concept for us to wrap our heads around, because our lives seem to be linear. That a lot of times you think that the most valuable thing you have is your money. And a lot of us will hold on to our money. We'll give up relationships and loved ones, family members, over your money. And some people just, the saying goes that, for the love of money, people don't understand that greed, the worst thing itself is not that the devil loves money. It's the people who have a love of money. Money's not bad. The love of money is what leads you to corruption. Anyway, going back to time. The heptapods, the more that Amy Adams began to understand and speak the aliens' language, she started to have dreams. More so than nightmares, dreams in their language. And that's an interesting concept, that based on the language, the culture that you come in, how do your dreams correspond to your brain, like correspond to your thinking? She started to have dreams. But the more she thought about it, the more she realized that they weren't dreams, that she was actually seeing bits and pieces of her own future, things that would happen. Now here's the thing, is your destiny, is it laid out for you already? Or do the choices that you make, are you free to make choices that make your destiny? A beautiful saying that I heard was, the future belongs to those of us who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Put in the comments, what do you think that means? The future belongs to those of us who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And that's what a dream is supposed to be. It's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be world building. It's supposed to be you laying out your future. A lot of things that we don't even realize that we let people sell us books and sell us self-help seminars and things because they're telling you, manifest it. But how different is that from, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. It's the same thing. If you can see it, you can have it. Now, I'm not talking about the details and what it takes to get there, because it's going to take hard work and take some things like that. But what I'm saying to you is your dreams need details. I want a new car. Okay, so do a lot of people. What kind of car? BMW, i8. What color? White. Or I would take black. Okay, what color interior? White. Or that supple, beautiful peanut butter. What type of details does your dream have? I know what kind of wheels, what kind of tires. I know what would go on that car. If I got a brand new house today, if I was able to build a brand new house today, up here, I've already got the kitchen mapped out, the master suite, the master bathroom, the kids' rooms, the backyard, entertainment area, the basement, my office. It's all up here. Like, in my head, I got Lowe's and Home Depot color swatches. Your dreams gotta have details. I got the solar panels on the roof. Like, what will your gift be? The only way to guarantee your future is to create it. That's what I'm gonna leave you with. Rekkai Steed, nupefromdaville. Thank you. Joining me on my Patreon. If you have not, patreon.com/nupefromdaville. Thank you for joining me on YouTube. Links to many of the other things that I'm doing are in the descriptions. Make sure to check out my puzzle and trivia channel, Too Hip to Puzzle. Thank you. Share. And if you haven't, hit the subscription button. It's real easy. That right there. That's how fast it is. Peace.